Hello, my beautiful Cancers. Welcome to your reading. This is going to be the reading for your Mercury Retrograde that's happening on November 9th. It will be in the sign of Sagittarius, but then it will later transition into Scorpio. And I want to get into what you don't see coming that you need to be aware of. We're going to go ahead and get into potential challenges, and we will also get into the advice from Spirit. So thank you for joining me. And let's go ahead and get started. I do have 3 cards already laid out for you, which are very powerful. So it's really interesting because normally for people in Mercury retrograde, there's this energy of not taking action, of doing things behind the scenes. But in your reading specifically, there's actually a lot of action. You have the Magician, which is actually taking action on something that you have been wanting to manifest in your life, right? And what is showing up here is that you're really prioritizing your emotional well-being, your emotional fulfillment. You're prioritizing the things that make you feel fulfilled, the things that make you feel like you are accepted, like you are seen by your loved ones, right? Or by the people that you consider close, right? So I really like that, because then you have this energy of the 6 of Swords. So during this Mercury retrograde, there's this energy of being very much in this type of mentality that if it doesn't make sense, it can go. You know what I mean? I feel like that's exactly how I interpret it. The Magician is also ruled by Mercury. So this is all about you processing this information that's new to you, right? And this information that's new to you is this information about waving the white flag. Like you're done. You're done with trying to settle a problem. You're done with trying to reason with people that are just simply not listening to you. You're done with mortifying yourself over things that you can't control. You're prioritizing your happiness and you're taking action on that. So that is what is showing up as what you might not see coming, but you need to be aware of it. Now let's go ahead and get into the potential challenges that you might face during this time. So for Cancer, you have here the Ace of Pentacles that is showing up as an obstacle or an issue. And the Ace of Pentacles speaks to me as your environment, right? This is something that maybe you have accepted in your life, like a new opportunity, a new offer, something that you have decided to pay attention to invest your time and energy to. And this is not turning out the way that you thought it would, right? It's not having the return of investment that you thought was possible, okay? And then you have here the 4 of Cups, which shows that stagnant energy, that boredom, that stagnation, that disinterest energy. And I think some of you guys are going through this phase where you're just not interested in entertaining things that no longer serve you. You are going to let this heavy burden go. You are not going to try to fix something that is just simply not going to, you know what I mean, go anywhere. The only problem with the 4 of Cups is that you could be so, you know, in this energy of focusing on what it is that you're feeling and what it is that you have experienced, that you might be closed off to new opportunities. So you have to be careful with that. And you have here the 4 of Swords, which means that some of you guys are having a hard time on getting into this energy, which is the energy of regeneration, of not stressing so much about something, of accepting the pause, of accepting the change in pace, right? Because with the Ace of Pentacles showing up there as the blockage, it shows me that there's something that's just not, again, giving you the return of investment that you thought you would get. Whether this is a love relationship, whether this is a business, whether this is relationship with other people in your life, there's something that you have felt like it is a one-way street, like it's not being given back to you. And that's probably what you're fed up with. That is exactly what you're fed up with. You're prioritizing your own happiness, your emotional fulfillment, your emotional balance with that 10 of Cups, 6 of Swords, walking away, Magician, finally taking action because you're trying to manifest your best reality possible, right? So that's what I'm seeing there with that. The obstacle is not being so much in this energy of like, I'm so fed up that you might miss an offer, a lending hand, a good conversation that might give you a revelation. You got to be careful with shutting things down too fast because you're just so over a situation, okay? What is the advice? The advice, 8 of Swords, so get out of your head, right? And that's the energy also with the 4 of Swords. It's like you really got to prioritize resting, regenerating, also giving up power. And what I mean by that is you can't control the things that are outside of yourself, right? You can only control the way that you treat yourself, the way that you think, the way that you treat others. Those are the only things that you can control, and what you invest your time and energy into, right? How you decide to show up. Those are the things that are your controllables, right? So with the Eight of Swords as the advice, Spirit is saying don't focus on the things that are not within your control. Not everything will be under your control, and that is okay. You cannot bend other people's wills. You cannot make people see what you're doing. If they don't see it, listen to their actions, not their words, and walk away. I mean, I don't even have to say that, because whoever resonates with this reading is on that energy of like, I'm done, I'm walking away. So it's really interesting how this Mercury retrograde for you will actually involve getting out of this stallment, getting out of this stagnation. So it is still very internal, because that's how the Mercury retrograde is supposed to operate. But it is actually, this internal shift is actually taking you to take action. So it's just really interesting. Hierophant here too. So this is about creating different structures, creating new traditions, listening to the things that are non-negotiable to you. What are your non-negotiable things that you want from people or from your experiences in your life, right? And that's really important, to really get those things clear. What's important to you, what it is in alignment with your moral compass, okay? And then you have here the King of Pentacles as the advice. And this is about, I mean, trusting what you have built. This is about trusting your intuition, trusting your work ethic, trusting that what you are putting your energy in, it's not that it's a waste of time, but at times it does require for you to pivot. But when you pivot, when you change your direction, it's not you starting from scratch, because you're gaining wisdom from the previous experience, right? So the King of Pentacles didn't become a King of Pentacles out of nowhere. He was the Page of Pentacles at one point. He was the Knight of Pentacles at one point. You know what I mean? So with that being said, that's the apprenticeship energy. That is the energy of commitment, dedication, of starting all over again if you have to. But understanding that every time you start all over again, you're gaining so much wisdom from your experiences. So you are already ahead. Okay, you are already ahead. But honestly, Cancer, what I'm seeing here with this strong energy of the Magician, the Ten of Cups, and the Six of Swords as your main energy, you might shock yourself with how much more clarity you might feel during this time, even though the advice is for you to get out of your own head. Absolutely. But there is this energy of you receiving this courage and just being like, I'm done with this. And to some, you might feel like you're being impulsive, which if you do feel that way, then you got to sit with yourself and you got to use your discernments, because you need to make proper steps that make you feel comfortable. But let's go ahead and get into the outcome here. What is the outcome for Cancer? Okay, Cancer, so oh my God, your outcome is the Star. Talk about regeneration. This is about trusting yourself, having faith and hope that things will work out. This is the ultimate card that tells you you're heading in the right direction. You need to focus on pouring back into yourself. Focus on leaning towards your faith, your, spiritual practices. This is really important, because that's what's going to keep you in alignment. So I really feel like this is a really wonderful energy for you during this time, Cancer. It's just a matter of you really listening to yourself. Like if something is telling you this emotionally is not serving me anymore, this mentally is not serving me anymore, therefore physically is also not serving me anymore, and making that decision of saying, I walk away from this because I know there's more out there for me. This is not the only seed out there. This is not the only opportunity out there. So I think that if you really start listening to yourself and you align with what your higher self and your higher wisdom is trying to tell you, these decisions and these pivots are going to be very, very simple for you, because again, whoever resonates with this reading is a person that's already fed up. Okay, so with that being said, I wish you much luck in this journey. Please let me know if this resonated with you in any kind of way, and if it did, share your thoughts down below. I would love to read about it. And if you do want to support me, go ahead, like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Okay, bye.